In this episode, I tell you how to lose weight on vacation. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? My name is Michael Sahno, and welcome to the Sea and Land Fitness Podcast. This podcast, of course, is brought to you by Sea and Land Fitness. So head on over to www.sandlfit. That's www.sandlfit.com and start your professional fitness journey. This podcast is also brought to you by, are you ready? 511 Tactical, the best in tactical and tactical fitness equipment. It's also brought to you by Thorne Supplements. What's on the outside of the bottle is inside of the bottle because they do third-party verification. And we're also brought to you by RDX Sports, makers of some of the finest combat sports equipment on the planet. All right, I'll go into all those later on in the at the end of the episode, and I'll tell you guys how you can get 10% off from some of our sponsors. So I just got back from vacation. I'm gonna have a sip of coffee. Peter Madeira, this is for you. All right. I just got back from vacation. We went to Charleston, South Carolina, the Low Country. Heaven, beautiful place. It was my wife's birthday and she wanted to go somewhere special, so I wanted to take her somewhere that I had been, and I was actually stationed there when I was in the Navy, during the submarine part of my military career, and I got to float between two bases. So I would go to Charleston, South Carolina for what's called my off crew because I was on a nuclear ballistic missile submarine, the SSBN 641 Gold, Simon Boulevard, Simone Boulevard, and our off. So the way you would do it is you would do what's called an off crew and an on crew. And my off crew was when I was the other crew, the blue crew had the boat. And basically what would happen is we would be on land and the blue crew would take the boat out on a patrol. And then we would then take the boat from them and drive down. We would all get on a bus and drive down to Kings Bay, Georgia, which is in St. Mary's, Georgia, right across the St. Mary's River from Fernandina Beach, Florida. So it's right on the border right there. In Kings Bay Naval Submarine Base, it's a mouthful. That's where we would pick up the boat. So we would do 6 months out of the year, we would be in Charleston, and 6 months out of the year would be in Georgia, which was really kind of nice. But I'd spent a lot of time there, and it's such a historic city. And a lot of the I've done some of it, you know what I mean? Like I had gone, what did I do? I'm trying to think. I went to what's called Fort Moultrie, which is out on Sullivan's Island. I'd been there. But you go out there because you're going out to the beach. You're going out to Isle of Palms, which is a really nice place. And you would drive out there and go to the beach. And you would drive north to Myrtle Beach and get a little bit loose. I'm going to have a little more coffee. Hold on. And then there's also another place called Folly Beach. I think it's Folly Beach. And that's south of Charleston. And that's like the local beach. Surf cult. I mean, there's not much surfing in Charleston, but they ride that culture as hard as they can. But there's a lot of not only Civil War, but Revolutionary War stuff. and it is the kind of city where you need a car. So we rented a Jeep. I have Jeeps. My wife has a Jeep and I have a Jeep. So I rented a Jeep and we went all over the place. But everywhere you get, there's a lot of walking. There's a ton of walking. Um, and let me give you an example of the first day we were there. So the first day we were there, we went to um, oh, Fort Sumter. We went to Fort Sumter. And while we were out of Fort Sumter, um, you take this ferry. That's the only way to get there. It's a national park. You take this ferry out there and you spend an hour there. And there's no place to like hang out and relax there, not, I mean, it's really relaxing, don't get me wrong, but you're on your feet, you're moving to try to see as much as you can in that hour window. And then hold on, another sip of coffee. I'm really into coffee this morning. So then you take the ferry back, and that's only a couple of hours. It's like a half hour out there, it's a half hour back, so that's 2 hours. You get the whole rest of the day. So we drove out to, where did we go? We went out to Sullivan. I think we flew there. We left at 3 o'clock in the morning from our house, got on a plane. We're there by 9:30. We went to Sullivan's Island, Fort Sumter, and then we came back. And then everyone kind of hung out, went to sleep, and then we drove out to the beach. And it was just moving. The day after that, we went to Market Street, which is this huge shopping area. Did a lot of walking around there. Then the next day, I had to go to Palmetto State Armory, and I wound up going to Palmetto State Armory. Thank you, guys. It is like the Walmart of guns, so of course I had to go there. Plus, you go in this place, it's enormous. It's literally the size of a Walmart. Okay, so on the a small Walmart or a grocery store, it's probably the size of a grocery store, like a good sized grocery store. And on the left is all guns, hunting, um, shooting, all kinds of stuff, safes. And then on the right is all fishing, plus there's a center outdoor sport like hiking, and they have it's amazing. So I only got to spend 20 minutes there because my wife, the boss, she was in the car and she was like, let's go. So, but then we went to this place called Charlestown Landing, which was the original site of Charleston before it moved to its current place. It's on the a little west on the other side of the river, one of the rivers, the Ashley River. And that was just walking because it's this big open area place with trails, and it's a nature site as well. And then the next day, what did we do? The next day we went to a plantation. We went to Boone Hall Plantation where they filmed The North and the South. And that, again, tons of walking, lots of walking. Another drive out to the beach that night. I think my son stayed home, and then we walked around, there, went to the beach. Went to the beach a couple of times, but one time my wife wanted to go to the specific spot, so I took her there. The next day we went to Patriots Point, which is the USS Yorktown and a destroyer. USS Yorktown's an aircraft carrier that was commissioned in World War II, and then fought from World War II all the way up to Vietnam, or maybe, yeah, all the way up to Vietnam. And that was 4 hours of walking. Are you seeing a trend here? Walking. So I lost a couple of pounds. Walking. walking, doing a ton of walking. I always had a backpack on. I always had about 3 or 4 drinks in my backpack because I was carrying for the whole family. And then if we bought anything, the backpack got filled. So I went on vacation. Honestly, I lost 4 pounds. I weighed myself this morning. I got on the InBody and weighed myself, and I lost 4 pounds. That is bananas. That's nuts. That's so simple. I'm I'm almost a little angry at how simple it is. I'm not saying that walking is the magic elixir because I also did something else. So you guys know I'm a Thorne guy, and yes, it's going to sound like a shill for Thorne stuff for the supplements, but I also started taking, as soon as I got back, while we were gone, I had been waiting for this package to come to my house. And it was curcumin. Okay. And curcumin does a lot of things with negative long-term inflammation. It sort of regulates the inflammatory process. So inflammation has to happen. So I think it was Saturday I think it was Friday or Saturday. I'd left one of my backpack, the one that I go walking with, and I rolled my ankle on one of the buckles because it was laying across the kitchen floor, and so I got sprain, little bit of a sprain in my ankle. So what's going to automatically happen? There's going to be some inflammation. There's going to be some fluid to the spot. Fluid meaning there's going to be blood going, to try to warm the spot, to try to arrest the injury, to try to heal the slightly damaged muscles that are in that ankle. So that's what inflammation is. Well, that's one form of inflammation. There are numerous kinds of inflammation, but so sometimes with things in our diet, I'm convinced with things in our diet, the inflammatory response goes nuts. So I'm kind of running all over the ballpark today. But I'm not. I'm getting to a point. So the inflammatory response goes haywire, and it doesn't shut off when it needs to shut off. And because of that, we wind up with, I have inflammation. I have an inflammatory thing. I have so much inflammation, and it's become misunderstood. But there's negative long-term inflammation, and I'm convinced it comes from diet, pharmaceuticals, a bunch of different places. So one of the nice things about curcumin, which came while I was gone, and I started taking immediately, was a lot of the inflammation that the triggered inflammation. So let me give you an example. Another sip of coffee. Hold on. So I have what I call triggered inflammation. So if it's ever gonna rain and you're like, oh, I can feel it in my bones. I had 2 knee surgeries, so I can feel it in my freaking bones. I had a lower back an oblique injury on my left side. When it's gonna rain or snow or something, get really warm or really cold quick, massive change in the barometric pressure, I have triggered inflammation. So my body reacts to that huge barometric pressure change. So that is one of the things that I'm talking about. Since I've started taking this curcumin, a lot of that it's alleviated a lot of it. And the reason why I bring that up is because this whole week, not this weekend, but last weekend when I was on vacation, I had a lot of that triggered inflammation. I had it in my knees. I had it in my ankles. I had it in my feet. But I came back, started taking curcumin, started noticing, hey, I got a little more energy. And on top of that, with the curcumin, I was able to get my butt back out there and go for another walk. Important. Keep these walks going. That's one of the things I learned from this vacation. If I maintain movement, because I'm working out all the time, so I'm moving all the time. Um, but here's the difference. I'm physically moving things through space versus just me moving myself through space. And I think that's important. We call it aerobic exercise, running, all that stuff. But I really think that if we split our workouts, so let's say you're someone who's a veteran or someone who wants to go into the military and you're a little bit overweight. Um, and it's rough for you. It's rough to get started. It's hard to get started. It's hard to get onto a program and do it consistently. I think one of the major parts of developing consistency and keeping yourself going is adding some type of movement through space to your program. Perfect thing, a walk. Another perfect thing, if you're into swimming, go to the pool. I'm a swimmer. I'm like a dolphin. I love being in the water. Um, I don't know. Shameless plug. If you go, this is how much of a swim nerd I am. I have Sea and Land Fitness, Honey Badger, Calico, Jack, swim caps because I wear a swim cap when I go swimming. I look like a fat Mark Spitz or whatever. Nah, I'm not. I don't. But my point is, get up there, get out, and move through space. Because when I was on vacation, even though I had the inflammation, so let's cut curcumin out of the equation. Even when I had the inflammation, I was moving through space. I was losing weight. Now, how much does diet come into this? It does come in, but I take a very different approach in I need to fill up my tank. Um I need to eat. I need to ensure that I eat. Because if you don't eat, if you don't fuel and comfortably fuel, I'm not talking neuroses, because stress also causes inflammation in the tissues. So if you're stressing about what you eat, oh my God, I've gone over on calories. Oh my God, I've eaten some gluten. Oh my God, carbohydrates. What am I going to do? No, calm down, relax. I got to tell you, just walking, I was losing weight while eating whatever I wanted. There was this one place, and oh my God, I like keep dreaming about this. I had Philly cheesesteak fries. Oh my God, they were amazing. Um, but again, I w- I don't eat that. I don't eat that all the time. I was about to say crap, but none of it was crap. It was all good stuff that could be broken down and utilized by my body, which was being active and moving through space. So I'm gonna have another sip of coffee real quick because I am like going on a rant. It feels like. Get up and move through space. Get up from wherever you're sitting and move through space. Be outside. Be outside. Go for a walk. Put on headphones. Listen to your favorite music. Go outside. It is so simple to do the right things. We muddy them up and make them super complicated. You're going to hear stuff in the news all the time. Think about all the things that are going on in the world right now. And if you turn on the news, you'll hear the word nuanced, or it's not that simple. It's complicated. 9 times out of 10, it absolutely is. It's very simple. Get outside. My entire vacation was spent outside. I know that there are people who go on vacation and they don't go outside, which kind of blows my mind a little bit, but whatevs. But get yourself outside. I have to honestly say, when we were out there, we had to have walked 4 hours each day, and it's not like, we're going, we got to get there. No, it was just a leisurely pace. So, and this is problematic for me. So I remember I told you in the beginning of the story, Navy. Well, I was also in the Army. And when I was in the Army, I was in the infantry, the light infantry. And the light infantry puts everything on their back and motors it to close with the enemy. Okay. My wife hates it because my wife's shorter than I am. And she's like, oh my God, can you stop walking so fast? So I really had to bite down hard and just go for a walk. Go out for a walk, slow down and absorb everything that was going on. And when I took that walk, when I got back, because I live a mile from the river, the Hudson River, at the top of a hill. Oh my gosh. So in order for me to go for this nice walk, I got to go from my side to the top of the hill and then all the way down to the river. And then all the way back up the hill and back home. And that's 2 miles. And it's a nice 2 miles. Now, I've made that walk before, halfway down to the light, to just motor in a mile with like a weight vest on or something like that. I can't remember the last time I just leisurely walked down to the waterfront. It was amazing. It was actually super relaxing. I was listening to reggae because I love country, reggaeton, all kinds of stuff. But reggae was on the mix that day, and it was so chill, so relaxing, and boom, that's my result. Is I lost 4 pounds. I'm gonna hit back on the curcumin again real quick. Without there are mood aspects. So curcumin, just to let you know where it comes from, it can be found in turmeric. It's the I think it's what gives it its. I'm not even going to say that. So you can find it in turmeric, and everyone's talking turmeric. I'm probably saying it wrong. But turmeric and curcumin is the active ingredient that the reason why people want you to take turmeric. So curcumin has a couple of things. So remember I told you about that anti-inflammatory? Well, there's also mood. It has the ability to regulate mood. And I have to tell you, I haven't been this happy in a while. I've even got my wife taking it, and she's just happy as a clam. We're not stoned. We're just, you know what I mean? Things are cool. I'm actually more productive with my mood being in an elevated state. So, I'm happy. I'm giggly. I'm just, and stuff's rolling off my back, and big. That's a big part of it, because a lot of times my motivation even though I do this, even though I push myself, sometimes my motivation's in the toilet and I just don't want to do the movement through space stuff. And there's that. So make what you want of it. I'm going to do another episode on curcumin. I'm going to do a little bit more research. I know quite a bit about it, but I want to give you the facts, and I want to put them all on a page and be able to disperse them to you, so you can go, hey, Michael Sahno said that curcumin does this because it does this, and he got that from this study, and I don't have that right now. But if you're going to take anything away from this episode, take away move through space, okay, on the land and on the water at a leisurely pace. Don't bust your stones. Just go out there and enjoy it. Move through space for about 45 minutes to an hour. Half an hour. I'm going to cut that down. Half an hour to an hour. I know sometimes people have trouble, responsibilities and stuff. So half an hour to an hour to just get out and move through space. 2, look into curcumin and stay tuned for that curcumin episode. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got for you. I went out, had an amazing vacation, and lost weight because I moved through space and I was able to eat pretty much whatever I wanted. And the nice thing about that is moving through space regulates your hunger a little bit and lets you really eat what you need and not worry about, if you eat a little bit more. So, all right, that's all I got for you guys. This episode, as I said in the beginning, was brought to you by Sea and Land Fitness. That's www.sandlfit.com. That's www.sandlfit.com. Go over there. I've just redone the website a little bit and redid the programs page, moved programs in the menu over because we're going to be rolling out the tier 3. I gotta actually make the videos about moving through space for the exercise library, the running video, and the rucking video. So go on over there, check out the free program, the sandbag calisthenic workout. That one's for free. Just go there, use it. All the other programs are going to be like $10 one time. $10, not $10 a month. $10 one time. We're going to have tier 3, tier 2, and tier 1. We got a bunch of gear on the website. I'm actually going to pick up about 6 pairs of the boom, 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 the focus pad mitts, which are for the focus pad mitt raises, with the knee raises, which are a tremendous exercise. And if you use the focus pad mitts, that slap back off the mitt just really motivates you to do it and keep going. So head on over to the website, check out the store, check out the programs, check out the podcast, and sign up for the newsletter. We are also brought to you by, I'm hiccuping, sorry. Sip of coffee, hold on. We're also brought to you by 511 Tactical. Head on over through the link in the description. Check out all the stuff. They're the sandbags that we use. The 511 sandbag is the best sandbag on the market. Fitness sandbag. We also use their plate carrier, the Tic Tac. It's one of the few plate carriers that, you're snug as a bug in a rug in it. I've had a bunch of different ones, and they all just wiggle a little bit or don't fit just right. And the Tic Tac or Tac Tac works the best. It's pricey, but buy once, cry once. We're also brought to you by Thorne. And remember, I was telling you about Thorne, the curcumin. I have that in our what they call the dispensary. So I have a site within the Thorne site where I can put the items that I use regularly. And I 10% off. 10% off if you buy them through my dispensary. Curcumin. Behind me, there's the protein powder. I use the branched chain amino acids for recovery. I use a couple of different things. You'll see them all in the dispensary. Check the link in the description below. You'll get 10% off. And also, finally, but no less important, RDX Sports has a link in the bottom. Click that link. Use the code at checkout and you'll get 10% off and pick up some of those mitts. I'm also going to have some of those mitts or boxing gloves or protective gear or a ton of stuff that RDX carries. I'm going to be carrying the focus pad mitts, so if you want to just go to my store and I'll have them at that 10% off price. So all right, that's all I got for you. Later, honey badgers, out.